organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up tonight on Daily Iowan TV, we sat down with Democratic candidate Martin O'Malley for an exclusive interview this past weekend where we talked about his policy ideas and educational reform plans.
And downtown Iowa City had people looking into the unknown. Find out later what that means.
Iowa football is still climbing the ranks in the AP polls.
See how the team did this past weekend coming up in sports.
All that and more coming up.
Daily Iowan TV starts now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Alana Neal.
And I'm Katie Reber.
Just over 3 months out from the 2016 Iowa caucuses, Democratic presidential candidate Martin O'Malley sat down exclusively with the Daily Iowan. The former Maryland governor is one of 3 Democratic candidates left in the presidential race. He is campaigning against former Secretary Hillary Clinton and Senator of Vermont Bernie Sanders. O'Malley spent part of Saturday evening here at the Daily Iowan. The topic of education opened the meeting, and O'Malley addressed his policies towards both higher education and primary education. He said the issues of rising college tuition affects O'Malley himself, as both his daughters go through college. As for primary education, he is ready to move forward with the No Child Left Behind policy and push for new ways of learning.
A more holistic way of learning and that allows them to be more creative thinkers, more imaginative in terms of problem solving and collaborating with others, and more conceptual thinkers.
O'Malley and other candidates hold similar concerns on education, but he spoke out against fellow Democrat Senator Sanders on the issue of gun law and safety.
I didn't cave with lame excuses about rural and suburban and you just don't understand sort of stuff that we've heard from Senator Sanders on this. And I think it's wrong that Congress would push through, as Senator Sanders did with his vote, immunity from suit for gun manufacturers in our country.
O'Malley said he stands for more regulation surrounding the usage and selling of guns, and he believes this is just one policy that the American people are looking to vote for.
But our base doesn't turn out if we're not giving people something to vote for. You know, we have to acknowledge the problems that still exist in our country, the growing inequality that we have to address. People should be able to get ahead when they work hard. Wages should go up in our country and not down.
O'Malley will join Senator Sanders and Secretary Clinton in the Des Moines November 14th for the next Democratic presidential debate.
The UI is stepping up their response to the mumps outbreak sweeping campus this semester with free vaccines. So far this year, Iowa has seen over 100 cases of mumps on campus, and now health officials are setting up areas to provide free vaccines for students. This upcoming week, there will be vaccinations available in the IMU, Burge Hall, Mayflower Hall, and Hillcrest Hall. The disease can be transferred by coming into contact with the saliva of someone who has been infected. A few of the symptoms include fever, headache, swollen glands, and fatigue. If you have these symptoms, contact UI Student Health.
On Friday night, students and faculty were alerted to 2 unrelated reports of sexual assaults during the last week of October. The message said that the first alleged assault happened on October 29th in an off-campus fraternity house. The second reportedly took place on October 31st in an East Side residence hall. Both reports said that the alleged perpetrators were acquaintances. Well, it's so hot outside, Katie, and it's still November.
I know, it's crazy. I cannot believe I did not wear my winter coat in today.
I know, it's crazy.
Let's toss it over to Ashley in the weather studio to give us the rundown.
This week, we are expecting some chilly temperatures, even some below freezing. Monday starts off with clear skies at 30 degrees, and as we move into the afternoon, we jump up to 52 degrees. In the evening, the temperature will drop back down to 34 degrees. As we get into the week, the days get a little gloomy. We will be seeing partly cloudy skies from Tuesday on, making the low temperatures feel even colder. The highs of the week are only going to be reaching into the 50s, and the lows look like they will be sticking around the 40s. We are looking at an 80% chance of thunderstorms on Wednesday, but that clears up once we get to Thursday. Friday looks like it's going to be our coolest day this week, with a high of 46 degrees and a low of 29 degrees. That's all I have for you here at the Weather Studio. Back to you guys at the desk.
2 men in Cedar Rapids have been arrested after an officer witnessed them breaking into a home early Friday morning. When the suspects left the home, the officer followed the vehicle until they lost control of their SUV and crashed into a parked vehicle. The 2 ran and were eventually apprehended by the officer. This is just one of 29 burglaries reported in Cedar Rapids this past week.
7 Iowa City businesses were caught in a tobacco sting after selling tobacco to minors on Friday. Police had minors walk into 59 stores to see if employees would sell to them even though they were underage. The stores that failed the test are Almost Paradise, North Dodge Sinclair, John's Groceries, 2 different deli marts, and Walgreens Market, The employees who sold to the minors will face $195 fines for the offense and can possibly lead to problems with the business's tobacco license.
The new Iowa City Witching Hour Festival took place this past weekend and gave Iowa City residents a chance to explore what many are calling the unknown through art and performance. Daily Iowan TV's Yezi Shen has the story.
The new Iowa City Festival Witching Hour aims to bring together our community to enjoy new art. It's engaging the unknown through performance and discussion.
My name is Dan Atto, and I'm one of the elders and founders of this group, Paintalica. We're here for the Witching Hour in Iowa City this year. We get together at least once or twice a year, and we've been around for 13 years now, but this is the first year for the Witching Hour. We have 3 or 4 members here from Iowa City, and our group Paintalica started in Iowa City as part of the graduate painting program.
This is Yezi Shen reporting from Daily Iowan TV.
The UI International Programs held a workshop called Muslims on a Secular Campus, attempting to educate students and faculty on building a campus focused on intercultural community. The workshop focused on breaking down Islam, eliminating some of the stigmas tied to the religion, and the lack of resources for the Muslim community on campus. The workshop hosted a panel of Muslim students who shared their experience on campus and what needs to be done to promote inclusion.
Former UI Athletic Administrator Jane Meyer is suing the university, alleging that there was a gender bias during her time in the athletic department. Meyer said that she was paid $80,000 less than a fellow male employee, and she has created an 18-page petition where she claims that she was treated unfairly. Meyer also says in the petition that athletic director Gary Barta has forced out 6 female employees after learning that they were gay. Meyer is a close personal and professional friend of former field hockey coach Tracy Griesbaum, who is allegedly a victim of this gender and sexual orientation bias and is also pursuing a lawsuit. Meyer still works for the university in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences as a logistical strategist.
Well, Katie, the Hawkeyes are doing amazing in sports, 9-0 from this past weekend.
Yes, they are. Who would have thought? And I actually had the opportunity to be in Indiana to cover the game, and Alyssa and Ashlyn will have more. Let's toss it over to them in the sports studio.
Thanks, guys. This weekend was an athletic-filled one for the Hawkeyes, both here in Iowa City and on the road.
Yes, it was, Alyssa, and though some teams had a harder time than others, that definitely wasn't the case for football.
The Iowa football team continued their undefeated season as they traveled to Indiana to take on the Hoosiers.
Football reporters Katie Reber and Jordan Maloney tell us more.
Saturday's game against the Hoosiers was another Big Ten matchup that proved the Hawkeyes can do all the right things at the right times and pull off the W. Iowa's running back Akram Wadley put the Hawks on the board first with a 65-yard run. Indiana answered with a 32-yard field goal by kicker Griffin Oakes. An 11-play, 95-yard scoring drive led by Iowa's quarterback C.J. Beathard ended with a 6-yard touchdown run by running back LaShawn Daniels Jr. The momentum shifted as Indiana then went on a 14-point scoring streak to take a 17-14 lead over the Hawks. With 17 seconds left in the first half, quarterback C.J. Beathard scrambled for a 7-yard touchdown run, leaping over a heap of Hoosiers to put the Hawks back on top 21-17 at half. The Hawks held the Hoosiers in the third quarter, holding Indiana's powerful offense 8 points below its season scoring average. Indiana had a powerful passing game, but Iowa turned to their dominating defense to hold the Hoosiers. In the fourth quarter, Iowa turned to their dynamic offense to prove why they are 9-0.
I think if you look at that fourth quarter, too, it's a little bit representative of our football team. You know, the defense came up with some big plays. Offense drove the ball when we really needed it.
Another clutch play from Beathard connecting with wide receiver Matt Vandenberg kept the Hawkeyes alive. The drive ended with a 1-yard touchdown run by LaShawn Daniels Jr. Hawks led 28-20 with just 10 minutes left. The Hawks were able to continue their momentum as tight end George Kittle closed the next drive with a 10-yard touchdown catch. Iowa's defensive back Desmond King intercepted Indiana's quarterback Nate Sudfeld, but in their next possession, Sudfeld led a 10-play, 76-yard drive and connected with tight end Michael Cooper for an 11-yard touchdown with 2:24 left, putting the Hoosiers behind the Hawks 35-27. Indiana almost locked in an onside kick, but Henry Krieger-Kobel recovered and Beathard got the one first down they needed to win. Final score Hawkeyes 35, Hoosiers 27. With the Hawks' victory over the Hoosiers, they are now 9-0 for the second time in school history. Football reporter Jordan Maloney tells us about one persistent player that's making a huge impact in this undefeated squad. Jordan?
Coming off of a bye week, the Indiana Hoosiers hope to put a stop to Iowa's undefeated season and clinch their first Big Ten win of 2015. But Iowa wide receiver Tavon Smith had different plans. After a targeting call in the second quarter sent Smith to the locker room, his return in the second half was unexpected. With 325 yards this season, Tavon Smith has become a prominent piece to Iowa's winning offense. But the Hawkeyes' star receiver was slow to get up after a helmet-to-helmet collision. As Smith headed to the locker room injured, so did Indiana's TJ Simmons, but only one of these players would return to the game. Simmons was ejected from the game after the hit against Smith was ruled targeting, but Smith did not let this hit slow him down.
It's my senior year. I don't want to be soft about it, so I'm not going to just come out of a game. I'm going to fight through it, and I'm going to do that every week. I mean, CJ did it for 2 weeks. I'm going to do the same.
Luckily, despite taking a hit to the helmet, Smith walked away from the play without head injury and was able to return to the field in the second half.
No, there's never anything above the neck at all with him. It was a lower body deal or mid body, I guess. And you're talking about guys playing tough. You know, he came back and played, and he's going to be hurting tomorrow. I can promise you.
The senior receiver battled through the game, helping the Hawkeyes post 35 points in their win over the Hoosiers. Tavon Smith and the rest of the Hawkeyes returned to Iowa City with another win in their record book and another reason to keep fighting. From Memorial Stadium, I'm Jordan Maloney with Daily Iowan TV Sports.
As both Katie and Jordan said, the rest of the season for the Hawks should be interesting with such a dynamic team.
It definitely should be. That's all the time we have in sports tonight.
Stick with us the rest of the week to get a recap of the men and women's basketball matchups from the weekend. Back to you guys at the desk.
That's all we have for you tonight on Daily Iowan TV.
Be sure to check out our website, dailyiowan.com, for all the latest news. For Daily Iowan TV, I'm Katie Reber.
And I'm Alana Neal. Have a good night.